In this video, we're going to show you how to install pads and rotors on your Toyota Camry located behind the rear wheels. Now before servicing the rear brakes, we need to go ahead and release the parking brake and put it into service mode. So to do so, we're going to turn the key to the on position 2 clicks. Now what we need to do is apply the brake pedal, and within 8 seconds, we need to toggle the parking brake switch up 3 times and down 3 times. Hold down for 5 seconds. At this point here, the park light on the dash should blink quickly, let you know that the rear motors have retracted, and we can now service the brakes. We're going to use our 21mm socket, loosen and remove the lug nuts. Once we have those off, remove the wheel and set it aside. Now that we have our back wheel off and our parking brake system is in service mode, we want to go ahead and disconnect the motor assembly. Now there's a connector right on the top. It's a gray connector. You're simply going to push down on the top and disengage the connector right here. Now on the backside of the caliper bracket itself, there's going to be 2 bolts here and here. There's our 14mm. Want to loosen and remove these. In our case, our slide pin is spinning with it, so we're going to grab a wrench and hold that. Now the slide pin itself is a 17mm. We're going to use a thin wall wrench to fit in there so we don't damage that boot. Now once we get the lower one out, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process for the upper. Now you can use a small pry tool, you could use a small pry bar or a flathead screwdriver, and you want to go into this window. And we're going to gently pry out towards you. And this is just kind of shifting our piston a little bit. That's going to allow us to go ahead and slide this off. We're going to flip this up and set it on top here. Now I want to go ahead and remove our brake pads. Use our pry tool and just get in between the rotor and the pad and pull those out. Now as we're removing these here, you do want to pay attention if the pads have squeak tabs on them. Both of our pads have our squeak tabs on the bottom. So when installing the new pads, be sure to install the squeak tab replacements on the bottom. We use our 17mm wrench here, or ratchet, to loosen and remove these bolts. And remove the bracket, set it aside. Now at this point here, we can go ahead and remove our brake rotor. Sometimes you have to use a hammer to go ahead and bonk the back side of the rotor to break it free. Remove it. Let's go ahead and prep our wheel hub. Make sure that the surface is clean and prepared for our new brake rotor. I'm going to go ahead and spray this down. A little bit of rust penetrant. I'm going to use a bristle brush here to go ahead and scrub this here. I want to make sure that the hub face is completely smooth. If it isn't, the brake rotor will not sit flush, and you're going to end up with a brake pulsation immediately once you complete the job and head out on the road. Now, if the rust is excessive on your vehicle, on the wheel hub itself, you can use a pneumatic tool to go ahead and run a disc on here to clean this up. Ours isn't too bad, so we can get away with just a bristle brush here. Once you're all set, get sprayed down with some solvent. Now you're going to continue this process until you're satisfied with the cleanliness of the hub face itself. We do want to go ahead and prep the surface of the wheel hub with some anti-seize compound. We have the spray style. You can brush it on if you'd like. Now go ahead and grab your brake rotor. When you take this out of the package, it's going to have oil on it and it's going to be covered in a plastic bag. That's to prevent it from prematurely getting surface rust on it. Use some spray solvent, clean the whole front, clean the whole backside, wipe it down. Once you're all set there, install the brake rotor. I'm going to go ahead and use a lug nut to go ahead and secure this. It's going to make it easier for us to put our caliper bracket and pads in place. Let's go ahead and start the process of rebuilding our brake caliper bracket itself. Our slide pins should both be free spinning. And what we want to do is go ahead and pull the pins out. Now we have a rubber boot here. I'm going to use my pocket screwdriver and now to get between the pin and the boot and just gently separate it. Go ahead and grab that pin and start to work that out. Pull that out. We're going to do the same for the other side. Now this pin here has a rubber damper on it, so it needs to go back in the same position. What I like to do is use a crayon to go ahead and mark this. So I'm just going to write or color on the caliper itself, on the bracket. That way there I know that that goes in there. Now let's go ahead and remove our rubber boots here. I'm going to go ahead and grab these by the base and we're going to gently rock these and pull them out. Do the same on the other side. Now once you do this here, we want to go ahead and inspect these here. So grab the two ends, pinch, pull, and roll. And what we're looking for is tears or abnormal wear. If they are damaged in any fashion, you need to replace them now. Ours are in good, reusable condition. We're going to flip this up and we want to go ahead and pop our slides out. Take note of where the spring clips are positioned. They're on the back side here. Flip it, get the other side out. Dispose of those. Now while wearing safety glasses, we're going to take some spray solvent, tip this up, and we want to gently, carefully fill up inside there, and we're going to use our bore brush, and we're going to use our drill with our bore brush to clean out any of the old grease, debris that might be in there. Dump it out, and we're going to flush it out. You want to do this as many times as it takes to get the clear fluid to come out, and then repeat for the other side. Now that we have the two ports cleaned out, let's focus on where these slides go. I'm going to use my bristle brush here, and what you want to do is make sure that there's no rust built up inside this area here where we had popped out our slides. If there is rust in there, it's going to cause these slides to push up, and that in turn is going to make the brake pads bind up, and you don't want that to happen. If you find it necessary, you can use a flat file to go in and clean these sections. Make sure that all the rust is gone. Ours is in pretty good shape. Spray it down with some spray solvent. Make sure that's clean. We're going to flip it over and repeat for the other side. Now that we have the bracket all set, let's go ahead and focus on the pins. I'm going to grab those there, wipe those down. You can use some spray solvent on there if you want. But what you're looking for is any deformations, rust, excessive rust, any damage to the slide pins that could cause sliding resistance. That's in good shape. Do the same for this one here. You also want to inspect that rubber damper that's inside here. Make sure that it's not torn or damaged in any manner. Slide pin is in good shape. Sometimes you can run these through the wire wheel machine. Be sure not to damage that. We already inspected our boots when we removed them. So at this point here, we're going to go ahead and reinstall our boots. Take the thick flared end here and insert that in here. Use your pinky and kind of roll around the inside here. Make sure that's fully seated. If not, you're going to end up having issues getting the pin in. It's going to bind up. Now we're going to take a little bit of grease. We're going to apply a thin coat of grease to the slide pins themselves. And then we're going to take a little bit and put it inside here. We want a limited amount. So we're even going to come back to our slide pin and just wipe off any excess, just a thin coat. That's all we want. If you put too much grease, you go to insert the pin and it's going to push itself all the way out. You're going to have to clean it off, start over. So go ahead, slide this in. You can see this is going to push out just a little bit. But as you work it, twist it in, you can actually see that mine's actually pushing out. Here we go. Now it's starting to seat. It's purging out the air, it's burping it out a little bit. Push it onto the boot, and there we go. Sometimes you can use your pocket screwdriver, open up that boot, and push that pin in and release it. That is totally sufficient right there. You don't want that pin pushing all the way out, but that's perfect. I'm going to repeat the process for this side. Now we have both of our slide pins addressed. Let's go ahead and focus on where the slides are going to go. Take some grease and put it in here where the slides are going to go. Thin coat. You don't want big chunks of grease floating in there. Take your slides, spring portion towards the back. I'm going to insert the inner clip first, and then I'm going to push out and snap the outside on. So set it in, tilt it, and then push it outward, and it'll seat. Make sure it's flush on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the other side. Insert the inner tab first. Snap that on. Flip it over and do the same here. Our bracket is completely rebuilt. Let's go ahead and bring it over to the vehicle. Go ahead and take your caliper bracket. Slide that over. I'm going to go ahead and get the upper bolt started first. All right, let's go ahead and torque those down to 79 foot-pounds. Now before we install our brake pads themselves, you need to install the squeak tab here. And the squeak tab inserts on the bottom side here. She clips onto the bottom here. I'll get and insert this in. Now we have the inboard pad on. We're going to repeat the process for the outboard pad. Here we go. Now we're ready to install our caliper. Next, we want to go ahead and compress the piston into the caliper itself. We're going to put our tool in here, and we're going to push that piston until it's flush. Now that piston should move nice and easy. If it's not moving, that tells me that the electric motor for the parking brake has not been released properly. Do not force it. The piston is retracted. Let's go ahead and set this up. Spin this around and slide that on. Now you might have to push in on the slide pin up top here and on the bottom. Install the bolts. I like to go ahead and get the upper one started first. And then get that started. After you have the upper bolt started, get the lower one started. Hold that slide pin. Let's go ahead and run those down and snug them. Just bottom them out. Do the same for the upper. Let's go ahead and torque those down to 20 foot-pounds. With those torqued down, don't forget to install the connector up top for the electronic parking brake. Now I want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. Once you do that, hop into the vehicle, pump up the brakes. That brake pedal is going to be soft and mushy for the first 2 to 3 pumps, then it's going to firm up. At that point there, we're going to reset our parking brake. Install the wheel. Let's go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started, and then we'll come on back and snug them down. We're going to snug them down. Do not over tighten. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. Now when torquing these down, we prefer to do this in a crisscross pattern. Now that we're done servicing the brakes, we need to exit the service mode for the parking brake system. To do so, we're going to press the brake pedal, pull the parking brake switch up and hold it for about 10 seconds, and we should hear the rear calipers re-engage. The parking light should stop flashing, turn the car off, and you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.